is about time for NFT.NYC again. Always a great event for the city as well as the industry. And with me is JoDee Rich and also Cameron Bale, co-founders of this. And welcome. This is year 8? Is it year 8 or so?
It's eight. And I think you should call yourself a co-founder, Jane, because you have been here since the beginning.
Almost. Although you guys put a lot more work, I just kind of show up and have fun. But so let's lay the groundwork about the NFT industry. How do you see the ecosystem for this industry right now, JoDee?
We're seeing a rebound. It's a revival, and it's led by 4 factors. Amazing. We now have a regulator that's done 180 degrees, and a regulator that is talking about the tech, a regulator that is encouraging the tech. Both the SEC chairman and Hester Peirce, who is head of the task force, has been very, very encouraging. As recently as yesterday, there was a talk by the chairman. He said, "I also am excited about the use of on-chain software systems. Self-executing software code. We need fit-for-purpose rules of the road for on-chain financial markets." And he's proposing, one of the things he's proposing is an innovation exemption. So we had a regulator that was shutting down deals a year ago. We had a regulator that was causing people to say, maybe we shouldn't be in the US, maybe we shouldn't do this at all. A regulator that was causing brands, legal counsel to say, no, don't go there. And now we have quite the opposite. We have a regulator who's saying, the US should be the cradle of innovation. And so that is wonderful. That's the big news.
Yeah, that's kind of lays the groundwork for how important it is that you have regulation. I mean, how do you think, Cameron, this will really advance the industry?
Well, I think what we've seen is a huge change in the creator landscape. I think, back in 2019 through 2022, NFTs were seen as a very niche sort of community. And what we're seeing now is that the creators who were initially sort of creating collection projects or experiences that niche community was engaging with, we're seeing them really want to branch out and create NFTs for the mainstream. And I think we're seeing more sort of product and tech adoption of those types of experiences. Like recently, we've been seeing some huge strides from Telegram. Telegram's a messaging application, but they have their own blockchain called TON, and they're actually integrating NFTs into the Telegram messaging experience. Coinbase is doing the same thing, integrating social into their wallet application. Shortly, we'll be rolling out an experience as well that has a very TikTok-style experience for creators to very easily create and share their art with collectors who can have an experience that's as fun, as simple as TikTok. So I think these changes that JoDee just talked about are really just enabling these types of mainstream experiences. So hopefully we'll see more mainstream growth coming up really soon.
Well, I think
the Telegram use is big, Jane. I mean, there are 1 billion Telegram users around the world, and Telegram are promoting the use of NFTs inside Telegram, and then Coinbase are promoting the use of NFTs inside Coinbase, and that's huge. And what's also wonderful timing is that we have this regulatory change. We also have technology that is removing friction. You may recall that there's been a lot of discussion about custodial wallets and self-custodial wallets, and how do you make sure that startups don't end up being banks holding people's money in wallets. And we've recently had what's called a 4337 technology that's been rolled out so that the wallet and payment experience is truly decentralized and controlled by the smart contract and smart wallet algorithm. And what that does is it means that innovative startups can now feel much more comfortable about rolling out solutions that are one click for users and also don't put them in the regulatory crosshairs. So we have technology that is making it so much easier for users, whether they're inside Coinbase, inside Telegram, or just simply going to a new app. We have a new app coming out. You recall that we do this event every year, but our main day job is a sister company, which has been rolling out one hubs to thousands of artists. Our sister company has we're calling it mainstream NFT technology, so that anyone can, for 50 cents or $1, end up owning or trading an NFT with just one click in one of these new self-custodial wallets. We have that coming out in a couple of weeks, and a promotion that we're doing with some major artists. Again, our wish for this event since the beginning, since the first one where we met you back in late 2018 and 2019, has been to proselytize this technology, to bring non-NFT people into the space. And so finally we're seeing a regulator, we're seeing tech, and we're seeing institutions like Coinbase and Telegram rolling out the red carpet for us, saying, yes, we love NFTs. And that's a rebound, that's a revival.
Can you explain a little bit, both of you, because I still think there is needs to be education in the industry about what all NFTs can do. I mean, we've talked about ticketing and all kinds of things. What people tend to still think of this it's like artwork. What are all the applications for NFTs that people may be able to see someday?
Well, in the ticketing industry, Live Nation have said several times that they're using NFTs to snapshot, memorabilia for people, and I understand on one day they even made 1 million NFTs as commemorative tickets. And so that's been a very strong application. And then we have an airline, a European airline called Air Baltic, that's been rolling out NFTs as a way of giving people digital certificates that last forever, saying thank you, or rewarding staff members. And I might give you a certificate for being the most amazing news person in our industry. And we should do that, Cameron, at NFT.NYC.
Yeah.
But if I put that on the blockchain, Jane, it'll last forever. And so we have a technology that allows people to write those sorts of certificates to the blockchain and then actually put them on their LinkedIn profile.
Yeah. Interesting. Cameron,
I think, I would just add to that by saying, I think there's also a lot of sort of invisible applications that when people think about NFTs, they're thinking about art, or they're thinking about, profile pictures, or, silly characters. And there's a lot of sort of invisible applications that we're seeing as well. And we talked about regulation before, particularly regulation in the US. Something that's really interesting is a regulation in Europe called Digital Act Passport. There's actually a regulation that requires people who manufacture products, whether it could be a T-shirt or some other, like a handbag or something, there's a requirement for them to actually make available to the consumer information about the provenance of the materials that went into that product. So, where did the fabric come from? Is it cotton? Is it polyester? Who made it? In which country? How much water was used to produce product? And all that data, sort of like you see the nutrition label on every piece of food at the supermarket. All that data needs to be made available for every product. Mm-hmm. And so blockchain and NFTs have really solved that problem in a beautiful way with something called the DPP, or the Digital Product Passport, where it gives the manufacturer the ability to tick that box for the regulator to say, look, we're making this information available. But it also creates a lot of value for the brand, because there's data and the insight that they get from seeing where is their product being purchased, who's purchasing it, what other things do those people purchase in their wallet. And so there's applications like that are really starting to come out as well. But the thing that I would add, talking about art and IP, or PFPs, or characters and things like that, is actually a panel that I'm really excited about, which I'll share my screen for a second and pop this up for you. Because I think when people thought about NFTs for a few years, all they were seeing was these, cute characters that people were using as their profile picture on Twitter or different social platforms. And what's really been interesting now is that some of these franchises or IPs have really leveraged the content that they're creating. Instead of it just being a character or just being a collection of profile pictures, they're really creating lore or stories or games or experiences or brand partnerships all around that ecosystem of characters. You could think of it like The Simpsons or Disney. Like you see these characters, drink bottles and backpacks, and all sorts of experiences that their consumers love. And we're seeing some success stories in that now from Doodles, from Forgotten Runes, from Claynosaurs, and David Pakman, who's in this image here, interviewing those three lovely characters, will be hosting a panel with Austin from Doodles and Bear Snake from Forgotten Runes and Nick from Claynosaurs to talk about exactly that, how on-chain IP can create really engaging consumer experiences that reward the consumer more than traditional IP.
So yeah, well, since we brought up David Pakman and the conference, let's talk about what can people expect this year? What will be different? What are some of the sessions it's so educational, and there's legal and there's financial and there's creative and all kinds of things. So what are some of the ways that people can learn more about NFTs here?
I'm looking forward to my fireside chat with Michael Casey. Michael Casey has been in the space for a very long time. He's one of the wise heads and OGs in the space. And we're going to be talking about AI, NFTs as a wrapper for AI agents. What I mean by that is, very soon in the world, there'll be more AI agents than people. And those AI agents need to be identified, and we need to track their provenance, and we need to see whether they're good AI agents or bad AI agents. And the best way to do that is to register their ID on the blockchain as an NFT, so that when an AI agent knocks on your door and says, hey, I'd like to get this information from you, or I'd like to help you with something, there's an NFT that has properly, indelibly recorded the track record of that AI agent. So I'll be speaking to Michael Casey about NFT wrappers for AI agents. That's cool. And then while we're speaking about AI, there's also going to be a talk about how to be a creator and remix interesting art using AI. And so that makes it much easier for people to, have a go, be creators, and with their AI assistant, build some really cool NFTs. And we're seeing that in the space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Cameron.
Thanks. I would add to that. So what JoDee was just talking about now is a few different masterclasses that are going to be hosted by some artists. And I think to add to that comment that he just made, I think Claire Silver, who's a very highly regarded artist in this space, she talks about how AI is making everyone a creator, and that the new skill is actually having taste, because anyone can create art now. The skill is making great art. And that's one of the things that I really want to see come through in these classes from Brian Brinkman and Adam Tastic, Post Wook, who's an amazing artist from LA. She'll be teaching people how to remix, and she'll actually be giving them experiences from her art that they can use to create their own and see how this actually works.
Oh,
what about Pinder Van Armen? We'll have Pinder Van Armen on stage, Jan. He's been a very successful generative artist. And we've been working with him for the last few months on a very, very cool technology project that combines social, human collaboration and his generative art. That will be released really just a few days before the event. And then he'll be on stage talking about that project.
Yeah. So give us the details: when, where, how can people still get tickets, or find out if they can't make it to New York, how can they still benefit from some of the sessions that you're having?
NFT.NYC and click on register. And it's June 25 and June 26 at the Marriott Times Square. And again, we're lighting up the billboards in Times Square.
Lovely. And it's always a highlight of the summer. It's fun. It's fun and educational, and you just meet a lot of great people there. So I'm so looking forward to it again this year.
Fabulous. We're looking forward to having you.
Thanks, Cameron.
See ya.
Thanks, Jane.